All right, welcome to Mix Spotlight Live. I'm Joel Wanasek, and we are going to go over some user-submitted things here today. I'm going to give some reactions and some crits. And I want to say hello to everybody in the chat. So what we're doing here today is over the last week, I challenged you to create some stuff with anything that you've got from any Drumforge product. So that could be a mix, that could be a playthrough, that could be a song you put out, literally anything that you've done. Tag us on Instagram and hashtag DF Mix Spotlight. And then I would come on here and this week do this live and react to those and pick a couple of winners. And then next week also here on the 28th, I'm going to be back at the same time, the same place doing this again. So if you didn't have time to get something in this week, you still have yet another week to do that. So I got 4 things here that we're going to go over, different entries. And we're going to give away some stuff. But first and foremost, I'm going to pick a random person here from the chat. So David Coate, how you doing? You're just won Drumforge soap. So we're going to reach out and hook you up. David, if you could drop your Instagram handle in the chat right now, we'll get you a NFR copy of Drumforge soap to go play around with. If you're not familiar with soap, it's sounds of ambient places. And basically Chris Basford went around and picked a bunch of wonderful sounding spaces and record drums in places like cathedrals and etc. to create some of the coolest sounding ambient samples anyone's ever done. So all that being said, we're going to take a look here at some of the stuff here pretty soon. So I've explained the rules and how this works. So again, if you want to participate and get your stuff critted live on stream, head over to Instagram, just tag Drumforge Official and me, Joel Wanasek, and then hashtag DF Mix Spotlight Live. Literally anything that you've ever worked on that you've any Drumforge product on. And if you want to try Drumforge products, you can head over to drumforge.com. We've got all of our most popular mixing plugins you have demos of, or you can try before you buy. All right, so let's sit down here and take a look at some of the entries. And I've got 4 of them here today. So I'm going to go in no random order here. Let's have a listen. I'm going to just refresh this. And here we go.
Let's throw DF Smack on there. Let's see.
All right, here we go.
What it's like. I'm just going to go to a factory preset. I'm going to hit the Smack. I'm just going to see what it sounds like right out of the box. I'm not going to touch anything.
Gotta love some DF Smack. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah. Let's try it.
I love the riff, but I particularly like that siren, like that spooky effect. I'll talk about the mix on this in here in a second. Let's just get through this and see what else he's gonna do.
That sounds incredible. I'm going to A-B it off and on.
So I think he's definitely got that a little bit over cranked, but I'll talk about the mix here in a second. But that being said, it definitely sounds better with Smack on it. We'll just dial it back like 10%.
I wonder what kind of magic is in there, but it makes it sound really good. Snare's a little dark. Let's throw DF Smack.
All right, so that's what he did. Okay, so if I had to crit that mix and give it some advice, so first things first, you know, when you decide what your drum energy is going to be in a mix, okay, in this case, we've got smacky, really punchy drums that are bright, and the guitars are kind of dark. You kind of have to match that energy across the other instruments, all right? So let's keep going.
Back on there, let's see what it's like.
Let me get some
I'm just going to go to a factory.
I can't fast forward on Instagram, unfortunately.
I'm just going to see what it sounds like right out of the box. I'm not going to touch anything. So let's try it.
All right, so you hear all those drums are really transient. Now listen to the guitars and the bass. So we're going to have to really like take a shelf and just brighten up those guitars and bring up some attack on and get the attack and the energy of the guitar to match the snap of the drums. The same with the bass. So, you know, do that. I think it's going to be good. I would carve a little bit of mids out of the whistle sound, like the woo, you know, like the ambient doom sound. I think that'll help a lot. Then I think we need a lot more attack on the bass, and I would turn the bass guitar up a lot louder. But I mean, other than that, I think those like 3 or 4 little moves on the mix would definitely take that up a step. So good job on that, Billy Diamond ZA. All right, let's take a look here at the next crit. Actually, hold on a second. Before we do that, I'm going to give a free copy of DF Transient out. Let's see who's in the chat. Alan Sessa, congratulations. You just drop your Instagram handle. You just won a free copy of DF Transient 2. Okay, so let's jump back here into the crits and see what we got. All right, next one up here is Andrew Young. All right, let's have a listen. Looks like he's got some STL Tone Hub, some Lance Prince audio, some Mission Audio Bass, RS drums, Neural DSPs, got some Drumforge on the mixing plugins. Okay, let's have a listen and see what he did. Actually, let me refresh this. I forgot there's no rewind. Enable audio. Okay, I like it. Let me think about what I would crit on this mix. I like the top end of the guitars matches the top end of the drums, meaning like there's the level of brightness is there. That's good. So like your EQ is consistent. I would get a little bit more mid-range in your cymbals. I feel like sometimes the challenge with program drums, either that or like maybe more sustain or a little bit more ambience on them. Because the challenge with program drums is when we record a real drummer in a room, we have all of these reflections, right? And things that accumulate and the other drums are in there. And when you're doing a sample library, you don't necessarily know what is in the room. And what I mean by that is I can't speak for how any other company does it, but for example, you could just sample the cymbal by itself and not have the rest of the kit reflections and things like that. So the reflections can change depending on the method of sampling, which of course, no one knows when they just look at the product. But that being said, the hardest part to me with program drums is getting the cymbals right, because the cymbals tend to, you have individual hits, right, playing after each other that are cycling on a round robin. And what happens is you don't get that accumulation of harmonics like you would, where it's like when you hit the cymbal, it's ringing and flopping, and then you hit it again and it's ringing and flopping. It's just not completely dead. Then you hit it so it's psh, it's psh, 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 So you get that accumulation of harmonics as you hit the cymbal, and it keeps vibrating, and it creates vibrational interference patterns. Now that sounds fancy, but that makes sense to me. So basically there's no way to like really do that in a drum sample library. So you kind of lose some of that build up, and that to me in the rooms and stuff like that kind of gets disconnected. So what you need to do with your program cymbals is make sure that you don't filter your cymbals too high. You need to make sure that, like you could put like a transient designer on to add some sustain to the cymbals to kind of give them a little bit of that. You can also maybe compress them in slightly with some like slow attack, medium fast release compression to kind of give it a little bit of glue, and that kind of makes it feel more like the kit is in a room and less like it's programmed. So those are some little tips. I would approach your cymbals in your mix like that. Let's keep going. All right, I feel like we're a little weak on the low end, and like we're missing a lot of impact, and I have a really well-tuned room with a sub that's super deep. So one thing I'm missing here is what's going on at like 40 to 50 hertz. Now I know in metal we don't use a lot of sub and stuff, but I feel like because we got kind of almost like a rock driving riff, like there's no reason that we can't pump a little bit more sub into the bottom of the mix. So if you listen to this, it's like the bottom end is tight, which is good, but what I'm missing is the sub octave, okay? So I'd throw a little bit more 50 in that kick, or maybe some like R bass or something like that. I would maybe either filter down the program bass or give it a little bit of a boost, like in the sub region. Really more the kick needs more low end than the bass. The volume of it's good. I like the riff. The riff is sick. All right, so that's what I would definitely do on that mix and how I would approach that or try to improve it. All simple things, a couple of small tweaks, and I think you're going to be in a much better spot. All right, how we doing in the chat? Just saying hi. Okay, I got a couple more things I'm going to give out here, but let's jump on to the next entry here and see what we got. I'm going to refresh on this. Oh, it'd help if I hit the audio button. Okay, a couple things. First off, I think we need to match our mid-range a little bit better. And the reason is, if you listen to the mids on the guitar, guitar is super loud and balanced. We got to bring that down. But first, we should adjust the mid-range. I would scoop that out a little bit, because listen to the type of drums we got. The drums are scooped and punchy. We got some cool big crush stuff. So what happens is, like, I think the guitar, when it comes in, and drops out too much, because you have those other guitars here in the background, like the intro and the later part, they're really quiet. And the other thing that's kind of weird is, like, the guitar is pulling only right. And the reason is that's a little weird to me is that I feel like it's distracting, because, like, the guitar is louder than the vocal. So what happens is, when I'm listening and I'm jamming, like, I'm focusing on the dun 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 on the guitar, and I'm not focusing on what the vocal is doing. So in terms of mixing, I don't think that's good, because our attention is directed on the chugging guitar, which is just a chugging guitar, which is cool, right? But I would take it down, I would scoop it a little bit to kind of match the energy of the rest of the stuff, and also the volumes of the other guitars, and keep the listener focused on what's important, which is the vocal. Okay, I think we're missing bass on this mix. Like, I feel like I hear a little bit. I guess I'd have to maybe turn up my speakers a lot, and I don't want to reach all the way over there and smash into my mic, so I'm not going to turn up my speakers. But basically, I think a lot more bass guitar could be in this mix. That would help. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I think. I'm going to comment on that. Okay, let's check out the next one here and see what we got. All right, here we go. All right, Limp Biscuit. So far, so good. I would get a little bit more sub on that bass guitar. I did a good job of kind of matching the vibe of the song. I like that. You need a little bit more sub on your kick if you want to do Limp Bizkit right. I would boost that up. Got your lead guitar too hot, but I get it. It's a playthrough. It's cool. Turn up your bass guitar a little bit. I like the choice of snare. It'd definitely be pitched a little bit higher if it was Limp Bizkit, but snare is still pretty good. Wait till it gets heavy to see how we get on this mix. Need more low end on that guitar. I know why you wanna hate me, 'cause hate is all the world has even seen lately. I know why you wanna hate me. I know why you wanna hate me. But your guitar and your bass EQ do work really good together in terms of your mid-range, so you did a really good job on that. All right. you did a good job, but you did miss one thing on the energy. You have a good mid-range, but we need better lower mid-range. What I mean is upper mid-range is pretty good. We need more lower mid-range energy. So listen to this. Right, like the guitar needs more bottom end to lock in with the bottom of the bass, and we need a fatter kick. If we can just achieve that, I think you're going to get this mix a little bit more stylistically accurate. But other than that, you've done a really good job. Yeah, like if you go back to these older mixes like Andy Wallace, Brendan O'Brien, era Limp Biscuit, you know, the kick drum is super fat. The guitars are kind of on the darker side. Bass is really jacked and really loud in the sub. And depending on the song, you can have a really, really fat subby kick drum. But as fat as the kick is, usually the bass is actually below the kick, which is kind of cool because in new metal, you know, you get that bass down to like 30, 40 hertz. I would say sub 50 hertz, where some people, like for example, if you look at Nickelback, they might take a mix and high pass the bass to like 70 or 80 and put the kick sub at like 50 hertz. So again, neither is good or bad. You can get great mixes both ways, but you know, I always liked how they would take the bass as an extension under the kick and be able to pull it off and have still a really fat and really loud kick. So I would do that on this and work on that. So, okay. So I've got these 4 submissions here. I am going to pick, I'm going to pick a winner here, but first I'm going to give away one more prize to somebody in the chat here. Let's see. Who do we got here? I'm going to pick somebody new. Colton Hunter, drop your IG handle and you're going to get a free copy of Drum Shots, Chris Basford and Andrew Cruz. All right, so out of these submissions, I am going to go with the runner-up. Let's see. I'll do this one. So Andrew Young, you're going to get a copy of my Drum Shots Joel Wanasek No Small Time Edition, and I'm going to go with the winner submission here today is going to be, hold on, let me move my tab here. Alan Sessa, and sorry, I can't see that far. I need bigger glasses. So you're going to win Drumforge Classic. So congratulations to everybody who submitted in. And like I said here, if you haven't, if you want to submit in for next week, I'm going to be doing this 1 week from now on 1/28, so January 28th, 3 p.m. Central Time or 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So same time, same place, 1 week from now after NAMM and all that crazy stuff. Come back, submit. All I got to do is go online and submit literally anything you've made with any Drumforge product in any way. Like, I don't care if you used a room sampler or something and put it on a snare. Straight up, tag me at Joel Wanasek, tag at Drumforge Official, hashtag DF Mix Spotlight, and you get a chance to come on here and win some cool prizes. So thank you for everybody who dropped by to check out the stream today. Thank you for everybody that participated. Enjoy your new prizes. And I want to thank everybody for being on stream today, and have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you at NAMM if anybody's going to be there. Look out. I'm sure there's going to be lots of really, really cool new releases, and get ready for a really, really awesome product tease at NAMM from Drumforge. All right. I will see you soon. See you in a week. Take care.